Okay, two. Getting back to P. Diddy, so he rejected the plea deal, which was shocking to me. I don't know the terms of the plea deal. And now he's claiming being mentally impaired due to drugs. I don't think that's gonna work. I really don't think that's gonna work at all.
Let's start with you. What happened, or what has happened in court today?
It was a pretty big day in court, Connell. We actually learned that Diddy was offered a plea deal in this case, which he rejected. Not really a surprise that when one was put on the table, he said no. He has vehemently maintained his innocence this entire time. I could not see a world where he just less than 2 weeks before this is going to start and go to trial. The now infamous video of Diddy and Cassie in that hotel room where he is seen allegedly attacking her will be played in court. Now,
Wow.
the original video, the original surveillance doesn't exist anymore. So we have a copy that was obtained by CNN. So, obtained by CNN, was taken by a cell phone video. So you're going to look the video.
Wow. Wow. So when he paid whoever at that hotel staff to destroy, they did destroy the video. And somebody else was in the hallway and saw it. Man, you'll never know. Boy, these phones is something else. But also, I want to thank my new subscribers. Thank you so much and giving me a chance. I really appreciate y'all.
But the jury is going to see that. The other types of evidence that they're going to see is going to be video of these alleged freak-offs, these sex parties that Diddy had. This is an important
I'm sick of this.
content, and whether they are comfortable with people having multiple sexual partners. Really, they don't want a prudish jury who off the bat is going to see this type of behavior, which they have always maintained was absolutely consensual on both sides, to look at that as reprehensible on their way in there. So those were the two really big takeaways today in court. Diddy was in that courthouse for a little while. It wasn't a very
Interesting. We're going to talk about all of that in a minute. Anything on his demeanor, or anything on from that we picked up from Diddy today?
Yeah, it was different than usual. He got into the courtroom with his pad of paper and his pen, really intently ready to just take notes. And he looked back into the gallery where he usually sees a row of family members and friends, supporters of his. But when he turned around and looked in the gallery, none of his children were there today, and he visibly looked upset. Now, about 10 minutes into the hearing, his son Justin did come in and sit in the gallery. Diddy turned a second time, looked directly at him, kind of nodded, and acknowledged that his son was in the courtroom today. But you could really tell that it impacted him when he turned back and did not see any kind of friendly face, Connell.
All right, Caitlin Becker for us. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
I'm sure it is, but just think that if he get a lot of time, this when you know who is really in your corner and who's not. Which he already went through that piece, because people had to drop him like flies on mess. You know what I mean? They had to drop him. They can't be associated with him because now he messed up their brand. You know what I'm saying? So this is real interesting. But so he rejected that plea deal. Now I don't know the details of the plea deal. I'm shocked that they trying to do this. Diddy's defense claims mental impairment, but prosecutors push back. As the countdown to the start of Sean Diddy Combs' trial on May 5th, I can't wait, continues, reports have revealed he is preparing an unusual defense. Diddy's legal team reportedly plans to argue that he lacked the mental capacity to commit the crimes he is accused of because he was under the influence. I don't see that working at all. I don't see that working at all. However, prosecutors are firmly opposing this strategy as the trial starts. According to documents obtained by TMZ, part of Diddy's defense is centered around the testimony from a Columbia professor. Prosecutors claim Diddy wants the doctor to testify that he had a mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt. The specifics of the alleged conditions are blackened out in court documents. However, hints point to Diddy's alleged alcohol and drug use. Prosecutors argued that legal precedent requires defense to give proper notice before offering any evidence of the effects of drugs and alcohol on the defendant's memory or cognitive function. They also described the doctor's testimony as trying to show Diddy's inability to control his behavior. I don't see this working at all. However, this argument is complicated by the indictment itself. Federal charges accuse Diddy of drugging his victims during the so called freak offs. Now, Diddy's team is suggesting he might have been in a drug haze himself. I'm sure he was. Everybody was on drugs. Meanwhile, prosecutors insist the doctor's opinion does not matter. They point out that the doctor never examined Diddy personally. Instead, the expert would rely on his general experience with others. In their filing, prosecutors say the doctor's opinion on whether Diddy was lucid at the time is irrelevant. And I feel the same way. I do not think that this mental impairment is going to help him at all. Additionally, prosecutors want to block another defense witness, a forensic video expert who will analyze the Cassandra Cassie Ventura hotel beating footage. The judge has not yet ruled on either request, but with the trial just a week away, crucial decisions are coming out. Well, that's because that is not the original footage at all. That original footage cannot be found, and this was screened from someone, I guess, in the hallway or something that was there. And wow, these revelations follow last Friday's court hearing in New York, in which Diddy's attorney seemingly offered a preview of the defense. They argued that Diddy lived a swinger lifestyle and that his behavior, while unconventional, was not criminal. At the Manhattan courthouse, Diddy's attorney, Mark Aglifo, told the court, per BBC, there's a lifestyle, call it swingers or whatever you will, that he thought was appropriate because it's common. He continues saying many people think it's appropriate because it's common. Meanwhile, the sitting judge, Arun Subramanian, ruled that Diddy's defense team can reference his personal lifestyle choices during the trial. However, they are not allowed to mention other well known swingers or individuals accused of hiring sex workers. During the hearing, federal prosecutors also revealed that they have offered Diddy a plea deal, which he rejected. However, they didn't make the details of the deal public. So we don't know what was in there. The 50, you know what, if they said 20 years, he should have took that. The 55-year-old rapper appeared serious during the hearing, quietly whispering to his lawyers and passing them notes. At one point, he shared a smile with one of his sons who was in the courtroom. Charges against Diddy include racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted, he could face a life sentence in jail. That's why if that plea deal said 20, he should have jumped on that. The embattled music mogul also suffered a setback during the hearing last week. The Blast reported that a judge ruled that the video in which the rapper was seen physically assaulting his girlfriend Cassie would be played in the court for the jury to see. Oh, that's gonna kill him. That right there gonna kill him. Diddy had requested that the judge exclude the video evidence of him beating Cassie from trial proceedings. However, the judge ruled that the jury will get to see the disturbing video. Subrahman explained that it was admissible in court because prosecutors planned to present two witnesses who would testify that it was an accurate depiction of what happened. Wow. Diddy's lawyers attempted to block the release of the footage to the court, claiming that CNN only had a copy and had deleted the original. They hired forensic analyst Connor McCurk, who said that the footage was significantly sped up and distorted. However, prosecutors argued they slowed the video to match the original speed and promised to work with defense on any other concerns. I don't think that defense of mental impairment based on alcohol and drugs, I don't see that flying at all. Diddy's defense strategy teased as feds fear jury confusion over unrelated consensual sex testimony. With the trial just days away, Sean P. Diddy Combs' team is showing their hand a little with a look into their potential defense strategy. Prosecutors are not happy. In addition to discussion surrounding his mental capacity and the racist past of certain laws, Sean Diddy Combs' attorneys are considering entering testimony about the rapper's past consensual sexual encounters with individuals not listed in the federal indictment. However, prosecutors are adamantly opposed to this line of questioning, according to court documents. Now, this, I believe, will help him, obtained by the mayor asking the court to block this sort of testimony. They made a motion to preclude any testimony of consensual sexual encounters between the defendant and persons who are not victims in the case. Further, the government deemed the testimony irrelevant, claiming it had a substantial likelihood of juror confusion. No, I think that's very relevant because it's a lot of people that participate in that swinger lifestyle. Now, this will help him. This here will help him. While the defense admitted that the good acts evidence, which is evidence of testimony meant to bolster a defendant's reputation, is usually not admissible, they argued it may be offered for another purpose. In this case, the defense argued it was more so relevant to the RICO, otherwise known as racketeering conspiracy, charges Diddy faces. Originally, the judge decided that exhibits regarding Diddy's prior acts of consensual sex with non party witnesses would be omitted as long as the defendant identified such exhibits for the government in advance. With the trial looming just days away, prosecutors are yet again pushing back at those potential exhibits and testimony. Prosecutors, in their latest update, argued presenting evidence of consensual sex acts between the defendant and persons other than the victims only to demonstrate a co-conspirator's lack of knowledge or intent has a very high risk of juror confusion. They added such testimony would introduce entirely new individuals to the jury, potentially result in many trials on issues of whether those women were actually consenting and be a risk for the jury. Plus, they argue it would provide a backdoor to good acts evidence, which would typically be excluded. But that will help Diddy. Prosecutors additionally pointed out that they do not intend to argue that Combs' enterprise only allegedly organized non-consensual uh, and non and both consensual and non-consensual acts, thus potentially rendering defense testimony with third-party individuals irrelevant and beyond the scope of the trial. Prosecutors wrote the government expects certain of the victims to testify that co-conspirators at times. facilitate both consensual and non-consensual freak-offs involving themselves and the defendant. If, however, the court does decide to allow the testimony of those non-parties, prosecutors are asking for strict guidance, and clarifications to be given to the jury. They request that jurors should not infer that because the defendant engaged in some consensual sexual encounters, other of the defendant's sexual encounters must have been consensual. While court records indicate the motion was resolved by the judge, they did not specify what the decision was, the mayor said. Yeah, I don't think that mental thing gonna work at all. No, I don't. Mm-mm. I don't see that being under the influence as a mental thing. I don't see that working for him at all. I don't. 1 week before the trial, the judge gave him a loss. Let me see, what was that? His legal team had been making preparations over the past several months in order to build their defense. Amid that, there's been a conflict regarding whether claims from newly unearthed evidence can be used during the trial. New evidence just arose on the front, with Cohn's team arguing that it shouldn't be added to the case. However, Judge Subrin just ruled to allow fresh sex trafficking evidence related to free golf. There is an exception to that decision, as reported by People. One of Puff Daddy's ex-employees made claims of forced labor against him, and those allegations will not be used as evidence in the trial. Nevertheless, the embattled Sean John figurehead's legal team is displeased with having to contend with a mountain of new allegations, which were shared far after the deadline for submissions. They argue that it's impossible for the defense to investigate and respond to those new allegations in just 2 weeks. Prosecutors, however, believe they're well within their rights to incorporate this latest batch of evidence. It's their contention that the defendant's request is yet another pretextual attempt to exclude power evidence against him without proper legal basis. According to them, the defense has had ample amount of time to respond to the newer claims. The prosecutors also claim that this latest response from Diddy team marks transparent attempt to narrow the scope of the proof against him at trial by any means necessary, and yet again make a last-ditch effort to secure an adjournment of the trial. This isn't the first time that Diddy's legal team has filed documents to prevent additional information from being added to the legal proceedings. Wow. I don't see him getting off. I don't. Not on just that. But if he brings in allowed to bring in people that it was consensual with the freak offs, yeah, I can see that. Damn, I don't know. I hate that I lost. Damn. I hope it's on this phone. Damn. Oh, it's on this phone. Okay. I'm gonna keep that old break because I'm gonna play that again. So let's see.
Peeps, it looks like Diddy's secret recorded videos is gonna shock so many of us. Don't tell me that. I'm terrified. And this is the main
This is the
reason
Lionel
why
B
a lot of
show.
celebrities are staying mute behind these Diddy charges and those allegations. Tell me. I promise I won't tell anybody. They shook. Now, Ray J came out and made a statement saying, "We've all been around him, at least in my era, and have looked up to him. And this situation is super unfortunate. To learn a lesson right now and ensure the next generation understands how to move differently with transparency and integrity. He said, we've never seen the stuff that's being said and the stuff that people are finding out. Like, I've never been in rooms that people are talking about, and I've never knew they existed.
He lying.
People in the industry can agree with me on that.
He lying. He lying. Not called cap on that. He lying.
Like disgraced jail hip hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs alleged freak-off parties stunned street dealer after he saw household name celebrities. News said Diddy opened up the door to his former Hamptons mansion while wearing nothing but a robe and brought him through to a back bedroom to make the powder deal. He mentioned weird shit was starting to happen. Celebrity guys piping each other down. There were back bedrooms, and it was like the inner sanctum, a straight-up dungeon. You see two people who you would not even be hooking up, rapping, but shocked me that they were and couldn't.
I gotta go back. He said it was rappers that he lost respect for. Oh shoot. Oh. I need to go back and hear that again.
Kendall Jenner, a regular at Diddy's parties and his high-profile events. Pharrell Williams, another frequent guest and collaborator in music and fashion, as well as that baby oil. Janelle Monáe, very close to Diddy through her association with Bad Boy Entertainment.
I didn't know that.
Another freak-off attendee. French Montana.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Bad Boy artists frequently seen at Diddy's events.
They was
and
together.
Of course, Little Kim, the Queen Bee, another long-term associate of Diddy from their Bad Boy days, and also definitely present at those parties. Now, other notable figures from sports, business, and fashion also typically make pictures at his parties and star-studded events. Now, hence the reason a lot of CEOs are stepping down. They are shook from the backlash that these tapes will show. Now, recently we had the CEO of Nike, Kevin Louse. He stepped down as well. Because now you know with Diddy's indictment, they're going to be exposed for all the dirt they've been doing. Let's not forget Usher and Ashton Kutcher. You already know they are part of the Diddy Diddler gang. Now, according to the federal indictment against Diddy's unsealed this week, freak-offs were an elaborate performances that Diddy arranged, directed, beat that meat during, and often electronically recorded the freak-offs. According to the indictment, Combs allegedly wielded control over his victims through alcohol, drugs, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including supplying them with large amounts of controlled substances. Now, numerous people have come forward to accuse Diddy of sexual misconduct. Now, Cat Williams did prophesy, man, and say a lot of people are going to be taken down. Now, once this list is actually released, man, all around,
damn. This gets on my nerves.
Revealing more information that you don't want to miss. Now, a few months back, he was keeping everything kind of hush-hush, but now that Diddy is locked up, he letting them things go. When Diddy home was raided, he expressed concern for his son, pleading for him to come home. He posted on social media, "Come home, the door is wide open. You're safe here, son. I love you. You're biological." Now, for years, Al hint at the evils of Diddy. Evil in a way you've never read about. But he was being very subliminal in his approach and not giving us any real concrete information. But ever since that raid in his coma, he took the gloves off. Now, being that he was pretty absent from Quincy's life, his son declined the offer and instead wanted to stick by his other pops, Diddy. Now, it's hard to say if he was willingly absent from his son's life or if Diddy made sure to keep Al B. Sure at bay, away from the family. Now, Al B. Sure has always been adamant about Diddy being involved in Kim's death. The mysterious passing from pneumonia at 47 years old didn't gel with anybody. Now, the mortality rate for pneumonia cases are 5 to 10%, and most have it for about 30 days. Now, unless she had the weakest immune system ever, it's hard to believe she passed away so quickly. Now, I'll be sure posted some information about Kim's last words, where she texted her friend, "He got me," before making her call to 911. Now, check out this dispatch call by the ambulance.
Engine 76, rescue 82, cardiac arrest. Engine 76, you're going to get EMS. EMS 14, response. Engine 76 on scene as a cardiac arrest. Rescue 870.
Now, apparently, Kim Porter attempted to call 911. However, she was unable to speak at the time as Diddy gave her one of them big cocktails. Now, her alleged diary entries are being turned into a book, Kim's Lost Words. The fiery diary entries are shocking and claim Diddy not only participated in threesomes and romps with both men and women,
Zesty there to feed,
but that he had a vault of recordings with young male artists.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgy, like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
saying?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
and I saw it. And but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't necessarily understand it.
So we definitely know by now that Usher is for sure on some of them damn videotapes that the feds seized from Diddy's house. Now, in the summer of 2022, Al B collapsed and was rushed to the hospital where he fell into a coma that lasted more than 2 months. The cause of the incident has never actually been revealed. Now, his marriage to Kim Porter in 1989 ended in divorce in 1990, and they had Quincy. Now, I'll be sure has always had his doubts about the past.
Come on, StreamYard, damn.
Her death.
I don't trust him. All right.
Now, I'll go into more depth on her murder in my last video, which is linked below, so y'all can go check it out. Now, the relationship between Al B. Sure and his son Quincy has always been estranged.
Damn.
To my father. He indicated, "I've been inspired throughout my life by special circumstances and unique experiences. Foremost, I grew up with a family that injected. This is my foundation. The family holidays and celebrations with my maternal lineage. Supportive smiles and audiences at school programs, guiding hands to complete homework and special projects in the wee hours of the morning. However, an influence that was absent in my life. I watched other kids enjoy the embrace of theirs, and I searched for a way to reconcile the meaning of my circumstance. Despite my pain, I've imagined a life as a good son with my father. Baseball, playing a school band, church, all of the things that you would expect his son to do, I've done. I stood in front of audiences to receive awards. I heard their applause and praise. But the accolades have been absent, the sound of his clapping hands and encouraging words. His voice that I could distinguish in my pain, the challenges, and the triumphs throughout this song. I'm reconciled as a man, no longer a boy in verse. Now I know that I'm not alone. Sean Diddy Combs and Quincy Albert, also known as Al B. Sure, is my biological father. But Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, has been a father figure in my life for as long as I can remember. Sean Combs is a person who I look up to and appreciate as a father. He is the one who helped mold me into the person I am today, and I will always try to live up to his expectations. He's always been supportive of me, and I will forever love and respect him. As far as my biological father goes, the spitting image is all I have taken from him. Throughout my life, I've always wondered about him. Where was he? What was he doing? And most importantly, was he even thinking about me? The absence of
This make me sick.
my mom's love, support, guidance, and for her strength. To those who share my plight, know that you have a great future, a destiny. Take the lemons that you are handed and make lemonade. Your journey isn't a letter to my father. Now, I'll be sure has some more to get off his chest as he added extra TV. He said 2,000
This gets on my nerves, Strenyard. I hate you.
as long and told to go sit down when he stated this verbatim over time. And again, on the day of KP's murder, ignored by law enforcement, he told him out of desperation and warned him to watch his back as well. Bad things. Y'all said, please somebody get Al some medical help. He's lost his mind. Now, some more information according to People's Magazine and also, guys, if you follow my channel, you know I said this been placed on
What to do? I forgot.
know what type of watch I'm talking about, so we ain't got to get into.
We gonna go to my girl So Mandam because she did a video on Kim Porter. Matter of fact, let me go there now. Yep, I'm gonna put that video in right now. Yep. She ain't did nothing since Angie Stone. I forgot about that. Let me find Kim Porter. This is real good. Y'all give me, I'm on her site now. I'm just looking for the video. She got everybody on here. She got Consummate and So Madame Fame versus Sacrifice. She got Jamie Foxx. Ooh, Floyd Mayweather, Glorilla. They all on here. Jamal Bryant, PMB Rock. Ooh, I'm gonna play that the next time when I do Big U. I gotta write that down. Let me find this video on Kim Porter. So she got Bobby Brown, the Brax King Von. That one was good, a King Von. She got a few on NBA YoungBoy, a few on Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I'm gonna play them. I love her channel. She be on it. How long been unalive? She got Yaya Mayweather. Oh yeah. Oh when I do Floyd Mayweather. Dang, I ain't know she had all that. Come on, where's Kim Porter? T Grizzly, Black Youngster, Young Dog. Y'all bear with me because this video about to knock your socks off. Because this was not going to be played. But then when he started talking about Kim Porter, I remember Jay-Z on here, Black China, R. Kelly, TD Jakes. Ooh, I'm going to do, ooh, when I do him. Yep. Because he stepped down from the church the other day. How long Kim Porter been passed? It's been that long? Craig Mack, Quincy Jones, Kodak Black, Rihanna. I probably should have just typed this. Oh, she got the New World Order. Ooh, 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 ooh. R. Kelly, martial law. I probably should have typed it in. I didn't know I had to go back this far. I probably let me type it in. Kim Porter. Here you go. Found it. Here you go.
Somebody look at your neighbor and say, she children that had nothing to do with their mother's sacrifice be strong at this time. Come on, y'all. And let's send some strength up to them twin girls at this time. Kim Porter was born in Columbus, Georgia, and she was just found dead not too long ago in Los Angeles. A source said that she was suffering from flu-like symptoms. Flu-like symptoms. And another source said she had pneumonia. Y'all ready to go deep down this rabbit hole tonight? Well, let's do it. Now, one red flag that stood out to me was this. Kim Porter had all that money, okay? It wasn't like she was broke. She had a whole lot of money. And she couldn't just find a skilled physician to treat those flu-like symptoms. Something is wrong. And if she did go to a doctor to be injected with, or what they really have her taking, we have to think about that. Don't play stupid on me today. Y'all know them doctors, they part as well. They play their part when it's time for a blood sacrifice. Okay? So don't sleep on that shit. Some to doctor and they part of this shit. They say, well, I don't know about you, but they can unless she was injected and made to die. Catch that on flick. When I did the ancestor reading on this situation, I said, she I already knew. I said, I already knew what was wrong. Used to be happy when they family member made it into the industry. Now they watch they ass up like a hawk because they don't know if they gonna be the next into the heart of this situation. Folks ask me, was Kim Porter a blood sacrifice? And I say, hell to the yes sir. I say, hell to the yes sir. She was a blood sacrifice. Let's put the puzzle. P. Diddy's twin girls, Jesse, that's their name, Jesse and Delilah. They are innocent in this situation. They ain't got nothing to do with their mother's death. Innocent. Okay? They are devastated right now. And I'm feeling the energy strong in a fucker. They're devastated. If it was your mama that you love dearly, you would be devastated as well. I'm feeling them little twin girls right now. And they got twin energy. So you can just imagine what I'm feeling to fuck a night. Now let's take a little time and look at the suspects in this story. Kim Porter and P. Diddy's son, Christian Combs. That's his name. He is a famous model. He is also a famous rapper. When them powdered face fuckers look at Christian Combs, all they see is another nigga with potential to make them some money. Okay?
That's all they see. A nigga coming to make us some money. They was at the Tom Ford fashion show in New York City. Christian Combs is wearing red and black. And we already know what red and black represent. It represents blood sacrifice. His mama, Kim Porter, she is wearing all black. What does black mean? Death. That's one of the things, death. So I just showed you why he would need a blood sacrifice in his acting career. Now don't sleep on her son. What's his name? Quincy Brown. Don't sleep on him. Every time you look up, you see Quincy Brown in a motherfucker movie or a TV series. Y'all done seen them. Not only is he acting, but the nigga's singing and rapping. Okay? He acting, singing, and rapping. Now what stood out to me was a specific music video that Quincy Brown did. He got a music video called I Can Tell You. Go look it up. I got the matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in a link. I'm gonna put all this shit in a link so you can see what I'm talking about. And in the beginning of this music, Al B. Shore. And Al B. Shore tell him, he said, "You ready?" He said, "You ready?" And Quincy respond to his daddy, and he say, "I'm ready." I said, "Ready for what?" Well, I'm gonna tell you what he was ready for. He was ready to make that blood sacrifice. The blood sacrifice of his mama. If you look in the background, it say your step. You see the sign? It say your step. What did that mean? It meant he had to take the step to agree for his mama to be blood sacrifice. You also hear Al B. Shore say in his music video, he can't become 3.0 until he make the sacrifice. And he just made it. He just made it. So his career is about to go up and up and up. Then after that, Al B. Shore, he smacked hands with his son, Quincy, 3 times. That was done to seal the motherfucker. You already see. I said, you already see why he needed a blood sacrifice. So he can go up in his career. Now, I want you to take a little time and look at P. Diddy. Why you could have been the one sacrifice instead of Kim Porter. Whew, I don't even need to say nothing about that no more. How many kids do they got together? Kim Porter and P. Diddy. They got 3 kids together. Illuminati number. How many years did they date? 13 years. 1 times 3 equals 3. Illuminati number. They split up in 2007. 2 plus 7 equals what? 9. Flip the 9 and you get the 6. They go your three and throughout their whole relationship. P. Diddy saving her for a motherfucking blood sacrifice. Kim Porter died November 15th, 2018. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1 plus 8. You go back to 9 and you get the 6. The reports say she was 47 years old. Look at what they reported. They said she was 47 years old. 4 minus 7 equal what? 3. Put it together, you get the 3, 6. The motherfucker 3, 6 sacrifice. This was a sacrifice for 3 people. P. Diddy, Christian Combs, and Quincy Brown. Her son and her motherfucking ex-husband, Justin. Y'all look out for him, because he gonna have to make his blood sacrifice next. Okay? That's how the game go. That's how the game go. They sacrificing mamas in the motherfucking game now. They been doing it. And they sacrificing daddies. Okay? We just now paying attention to it. They been doing this shit. I said we just now becoming aware of it. It was a blood sacrifice.
And I could have went deeper, but y'all get the point. Y'all be good.
Hey, I ain't know she been gone that long. She been gone 6 years. Wow. Now I'm gonna do this last one, and I'm done with this thing. I don't go nowhere with this, and I'm about to change the title to P Diddy, Rick Ross, Kim Porter. I'll be sure.
Real tea.
Now
Your
this.
brother over there paying people to put hits out. He over there paying people to put hits out and running off with his money, and it's getting back to me. So now I'm finna send the feds over there to y'all empire. See, you had the right today.
Say what now? Not Tia Kemp exposing the names of the people that Rick Ross unalived in order to keep his freak-off relationship with Diddy a secret.
Diddy and Ross was a good buddies. Okay, they
Khaled, Rick,
Oh, he said DJ Khaled. Wow.
and he did it.
Yeah.
They all get it.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Ooh-wee. I'ma need y'all to hold my hands for this one because Rick Ross's baby mama Tia Kemp just took this entire drama with Diddy to a whole new level of messiness after she jumped on IG Live and spilled the tea about how Rick Ross has been taking people out. Tia even went as far as revealing the names of the innocent people that Rick is unalive. And according to her, there are even more skeletons in his closet. But she's just gonna reveal the rest after she gets protection from the feds. Now, this ain't the first time that Tia has dragged Rick into Diddy's case and exposed some disturbing information about him. Not too long ago, she also called him out for being one of Diddy's power bottoms. This allegation about him being way more against than anything she's ever seen. And word on the street
Who
is
is
that
this?
vets are already
Urbaneer.
working to get her into witness protection. Okay, so this entire mess went down just a few days ago when Tia got into it with her baby daddy, Rick Ross, for the 1 millionth time. It's unclear why exactly she woke up that morning, and the first thing she decided to do was come at Rick. But from the looks of it, she and Rick's family members were having some kind of disagreement, and she just decided to show them that she was the queen of pettiness by coming on IG Live to spill some incriminating tea about him. She started off her rant by claiming that Rick put a hit out on her. However, the people he paid to take her out ran off with his money and went behind his back to warn her about what he tried to do to her. And mind you, Tia is the mother of his child, and he had the audacity to try and unalive her. If that's what he's capable of doing to the mother of his baby, can y'all even imagine what he would do to a stranger that crosses him? He needs to be in jail.
So we finna clock this tea right here. You wanna stay keeping up? We finna talk about some real tea. Your brother over there paying people to put hits. Now I'm finna send the feds over there to y'all.
And Miss Carol, whose death is still unresolved and actively being investigated by the cops and her family. According to Tia, the woman was unalived on her way home by Rick and his crew. Oh, but that wasn't all. Tia brought up the death of a man who she Rick unalived in front of one of his properties, properly known as the Black House.
You know what I like? Coconut water. Whole one. Drill a hole in it and put a clean straw in it for me. I'm here right now. Hit me, my baby promised 2 weeks. I'm finna go let out. Turn it down, man. Turn it down. It's quiet right now. What you quiet? Nobody wanna see your Louis outfits and sneakers. Nobody wanna see it. Nobody don't care to see the Jets no more. You running out of. Go over there and get. You know what time it is? Prom time. You ain't sent the message since December 9th, you big bag. But I'm not finna play with you.
I'm not. This revelation caused a mixed reaction on social media, with some people saying that Tia is just doing this because she's mad that Rick dumped her for a younger woman. And others are also slamming her for sitting on this information for all these years and only spilling the tea after Rick Ross pissed her off. One person said, yeah, she may get on here and do a lot and talk a lot about it, but maybe y'all didn't hear said. Pay to unalive your child's mother, but wouldn't even pay her child support is out of pocket. Another person said, and for all those calling her bitter and saying she's lying, I want to know this. There's no way on earth a man with everything to lose wouldn't sue her for defamation if what she's saying about him wasn't true. If not to win money, but to win legal silence. Now, it's unclear when exactly Rick sent the hit out on her for her to be taken out by his people, but folks think it was just months ago when she exposed him for being Diddy's freak-off partner. Yeah, y'all heard that when Diddy's house got raided by Homeland Security, T on IG Live and accused Rick because he's scared that he may be next to be investigated after Diddy. According to T, he has multiple tapes of Rick getting freaky at these parties, and he plans to turn everything to the right time. You big mouth, I want you to talk time. Don't be scared now. No Diddy, huh? You scared now, huh? I know y'all on them tapes. Freaky. I know you is. 10 churn have. It's time to show them churns now. I ain't gonna let off you. You should have been shut this big mouth hole up. You know it. You know it. Sip your fruit back. I'm mad right now. Can't hit me and my baby prom in 2 weeks. I'm gonna go let out. Turn it down, man. Turn it down. It's quiet right now. What you quiet for? Nobody want to see your Louis outfits and sneakers. Nobody want to see it. Nobody don't care to see the Jets no more. You running out of now. Go over there.
Damn.
You ain't sent a message since December 9th, you big bag. But I'm not finna play with you. I'm not. You gonna make me come to the gate fat. You've been in Miami a lot because you ain't got no motions. It's slowing down. I heard you fat. Heard. I'ma get you, Will. I'ma get your. I'ma get Universe. Do your work on that big. And if you keep sending messages around, that's getting back to me. I'm gonna come over here and tell it all. You be told your toe in there. You know what I'm talking about. This round from Tia was not a good look at all for Rick because people started digging into his affiliations with Diddy and they realized that he was also deeply tied to everything. In fact, he was even out here rapping with some of the women that he essayed and giving us details about how he successfully got away with it. The first song was called Magnificent, and in this song, Rick blatantly rapped about witnessing Diddy essaying the members of a girl group that was signed to his record label at the time.
Wow.
Rick said, I made a transition from the Thieves to the biggest executive Def Jams ever seen. The game never changed. Money's still a focal, but it's time to essay the game like Puffy did. Even before we could
wow.
50 brought to our attention the lyrics of another Rick Ross song called UOENO, in which he flat out bragged about saying a woman like it was a flex. He raps, put Molly all in her champagne, she ain't even know it. I took her home and I enjoyed it. 50 Diddy Ross, as well as a screenshot of the lyrics on his IG page and captioned it, what the F? At some point, you just gotta do the right thing. And do y'all remember the time that 50 posted this photo of Diddy and Rick Ross seemingly about to kiss each other on the lips during a performance? Child, the signs were all there, y'all. Around this same time that all this was going on, the interrogation video of the man who shot up the Trump National Hotel back in 2018 started going viral. And in the video, there was some tea being spilled about Rick and Diddy. He said he was one of Diddy's freak-off slaves and that Rick Ross, Big Sean, and DJ Khaled were some of the people who would come through and pound him. He said he even caught
Big
some STDs
Sean.
at one point, but they kept sleeping with him.
Combs.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call yourself
Yeah.
these days. Yeah, go ahead.
I had sex with Cass and Sean. Basically, he would match every time I wanted to do with Cass. I was like a slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all, right? I called it, and I came back and seen for no reason anymore. But Diddy and Ross was a good.
So he said he called herpes and that he had sex with Big Sean, Diddy, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Big Sean. Ooh.
Okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both Diddy and Ross and Khaled. They're all gay.
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
I seen the little track of myself having Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks all the time. Alright, he calls it cheap.
All right.
I've settled $1.5 million with Diddy, okay? But he's scared that I was gonna expose him.
I don't want to talk about Diddy. I'm talking about you. Help me understand you. I mean, who?
Big yikes. See, one thing about Tia Kemp, she may tell a joke, but baby, she never tells a lie. However, people still feel like she's part of the problem because you do everything that gets to she realized
Well, that is true. That is true.
you're trying to point fingers at Rick Ross, but you're just as guilty by knowing and not telling. You may be incriminating yourself. It's also called misprinting a felony. Look it up. Another person said she owes him no loyalty when ordering hits on her. For the slow dummies on the short bus, I'm snitching too. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Tia exposing?
Man, listen, so I'm about to change this video. Yep, I'm about to change this. Oh, shoot, I'm going to do these last two because this is going to be my last one.
So many witnesses. There are so many victims. Welcome to Ms. Mojo. And today, we're looking at celebrities who spoke out against Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, before his 2024 arrest and indictment.
We're just starting to scratch the surface of what this case, this case is going to touch and involve.
Kanye West. In retrospect, we should have read the Kardashians.
You know what? I'm going to say that. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button. All right. I see y'all. I'm going to say that video.